The time is up. The green-eyed drone says simply. Then I begin to experience a sensation that I've never felt before, that I've never imagined would even be possible. Instead of being trapped in a void like last time, I can feel myself existing in ethereal earthen plane, the magical plane, and the ethereal plane, all at the same time. Hold on. Earthen plane is where like everyone is, right? Magical plane is where the spirits are. What the hell is the ethereal plane? I feel like I've heard that before, but I feel like I've never heard that before. So I'm very confused. As if we're the most natural thing in the world. I have no idea why I'm so certain that this is what's happening, since logically speaking, I have absolutely no way of knowing what the magical plane or the ethereal plane would feel like. But there is no doubt in my mind that this is indeed what I'm experiencing. Yet at the same time, I'm also somehow still inside the same room. Except the room looks nothing like before. The workshop is falling apart before my eyes. Objects inside the room are all flying around, and looks like there is a strong wind of some sort that is also raising me in the air at the same time. And the wind isn't just raising me in the earthen plane either, but in the other two planes as well. It feels like my very soul is is probably analyzing every single plane. It feels like my very soul is being sucked out of me while my body is being thrown around the earthen and magical plane like some cosmic rat doll. Nothing makes sense anymore. Up is down, right is left. My consciousness feels it's being ripped apart from all direction. I will be looking forward to seeing your next interaction with the Overseer here in a word in the back of my mind as I'm being flung around across multiple dimensions. That bastard knew. He knew something like this would happen. I'm going to kill him. I swear I'm going to kill him. Mary grabbed my hand. I suddenly hear a woman's desperate voice, and I'm gradually losing my consciousness. I immediately realize the voice is being that of Layla, even though I've never heard her speak before. Even her laughs and screams have always been silent. When I turn to her, I see that she's also being carried by a strong wind that has her right hand extended towards me while she's floating in the air. Grab my hand quick, I hear her say again, but now I'm clearly seeing that her mouth is closed while she's talking. Am I hearing her thoughts? Is it because we're both in the ethereal plane, which is the plane of existence where our minds are reside? Does this mean that she can hear what I'm thinking right now? You idiot, I hear Layla shouting with her mouth still closed, suggesting that she did indeed hear what I just said. Stop trying to make sense of things and grab onto me away. You're being pulled away. I'll grab Layla's hand because I highly doubt the illusionist can make illusions in this time. Without a second thought, I grab Layla's hand and we both begin to spin around in the air as the wind is trying to pull us apart. Don't you dare let go of me. With a mouth closed, I won't, I say, and we both spin around for a while longer as our souls in the ethereal plane are holding on to each other as well. What the hell? I hear Darren's voice from somewhere beneath us. He is now entering the room through the secret door together with Hudrick, Kate, Flower, Eluna, Melindra and Araka. What's happening? Kate shouts to us, trying to make her voice louder than the sound of the wind and the vibration. Crystal vibration, how can we help? It's the crystal, I say in a loud voice for Layla, and are still rotating in the air together with a slow propeller. The blue crystal inside the drone has awoken. It said that it's looking for Araka. I think it's connected to the Magium somehow. The crystal said that Araka had threatened the very fabric of all existence and that she needs to be eliminated. What did you do this time? Luna shouts at Araka as she grabs her amulet in her hand. It wasn't me, Araka says in a slightly panicked tone. It must have been the other Araka. The one from the God of Time's trial. She's probably wreaking havoc through all the parallel universes, trying to find a way to get back to the magical plane. At least I know that's what I would have done if I were in a place, because she knows there are multiple parallel dimensions now from all this time traveling. Is that it? So are you planning to put a stop to this, or are you going to keep whittling your incorporeal thumbs while this whole world gets cast into oblivion? Eluna says loudly. Yes, give me a minute, Araka says. And then we see the green-eyed drone reacting to her, getting closer to the amulet. When the drone reaches her, it begins to shine with a bright blue light, and then without any warning, the vibration of the crystal inside it stops and the room returns to normal, as if nothing had ever happened in the first place. Without having any memory of us falling down, Layla and I find ourselves lying face first on the ground with our hands still holding onto each other for dear life. When we realize that the danger is gone, the two of us let go and we get up from the ground confused, trying to understand how everything in the room can still be intact, even after all that has happened. How did we get the Magium to leave us alone so quickly? Eluna asks Araka. She now lets go of her amulet. I showed the crystal my memories of what happened with the other Araka during Selkram's ritual, and I gave it the coordinates to her universe. Araka says, judging by how quickly everything came back to normal, I'd say my intuition was right. And she was indeed the one the Magium was looking for. I'm sure that second-rate copy of me is going to have up in the time of her life very soon. You should consider yourself lucky that the Magium didn't remember your hijinks through its realm and decided to end this universe as well, just to be safe, Luna says. Do you realize that this wasn't the Magium itself, right? Haruka says. It was just a fraction of its will manifested through the crystal, which is most likely awoken due to destruction of the crystal-filled caverns from the rebel base. Probably didn't even know who I was or what I did in the Magium realm. The only reason why it even... Oh, so it's like a will, like in martial manuas and stuff like that. They would like leave a will behind, like a part of their soul or something, which have like some intelligence to it, and it will react in a very certain way, and it has some power, not all of it, but some power. So like if a really weak person approaches it, they could still kill it, but they only have like a fraction of their original power. But considering the fraction of Magium's original power, yeah, that's probably a lot. Anyway, where were we? The only reason why it even reacted to these two... hold on. It probably didn't even know who I was or what I did in the Magium's realm. The only reason why it even reacted to these two losers in the first place was because it could most likely sense from their auras that they've been in contact with the Araka from Selkram's ritual, so it must have assumed that she was hiding somewhere in this world. And if the ninja's gone now, you can relax, everything's fine. I'm not exactly sure you can tell us to relax when only a fraction of the Magium almost ended our entire world. But I suppose we can at least agree that we should be safe for now, Luna said. This is not something that I have calculated, the overseer's green-eyed drone says out of the blue, this time in this normal tone of voice. I will need some time to analyze what has happened. In the meantime, I would like to ask you to leave this tower. We'll continue our previous discussion at a later date. In just a moment, Melinda says as she goes over to the king's body, and then she removes one of the rings from her fingers. Alright, now we can go. Oh, so it was one of the rings after all, I tell Melinda. I've been looking through his pockets, but I wasn't exactly sure which of the items you needed. I noticed, Melinda says, and I appreciate the thoughtfulness. Okay, I certainly have a lot of questions to ask, but we should probably talk more once we get back to the rebel base, Darren says. A lot of people got hurt during the collapse of the caves. They need all the medical help they can get. Albert should be ready to teleport us at any moment, but you might have guessed Barry Thundercloud will not be teleporting us anymore. He's currently being held in custody by the king of the underground's men. Are you ready to leave? There is no need to be so stern, Darren, Melinda says. Have you already forgotten how you almost rushed to the caves under the tower by yourself when you heard that that Barry was teleported here, and Gontok went after him? We still have time. We still have little time. Why don't you do what you really came here to do and give your good friend Barry a big old hug? Okay, first of all, you shut up, Darren tells Melinda. The second, if nobody else had anything to say, I'd like to call Albert on the transceiver. Actually, I have just one short question before we go. I said, Darren, do you remember how many fingers Gontok had on his left hand? Of course, Darren says. He had 3 fingers. Why do you ask? Oh, I just wanted to confirm something, I say, as Layla and I exchange a quick glance. Don't worry about it. You can call Albert now. We should probably later tell them that how the Magium can erase someone's existence, so they know if one of our existence gets erased. He had his left hand. Of course, Darren says. He had 3 fingers. Yeah. Alright then, Darren says as he pulls out his transceiver. He gives Albert the signal to teleport us. Am I going crazy here? Dr. Reitzik asked Lil in low voice. As we're all getting together in order to get... Are we not going to kill the illusionist? Getting together closer in order to get teleported. Didn't Gontok have 5 fingers on each of his hands? Oh yeah, he is also a Laseti. We'll explain later, Layla writes to him, and then a white light envelops us all as we all being teleported out of the tower back to the underground tunnels of the rebel base. And we're back into chapter 8. I've never gone through chapters this fast. Okay, so let me get this straight, Darren says, while our group is standing in the middle of the room from the rebel base when we slept last night. These blue crystals that keep shining and vibrating every now and then are in fact made of crystallized Magium essence, correct? Yes, that is what I said, Araka answers him. And by channeling the Magium's power, these crystals somehow made us all forget that Gontok had 5 fingers on the left hand, Darren says. Now turning to Barry, is that what you're saying, Barry? It's a little bit more complicated than that. Let me try to give you a bit more context.